Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the description to our Discord, along with our free options trading group on Facebook. If you're here right now, say what up. Keith, Andrew, how you doing? Kelly, what's going on? Happy Trade Deal Wednesday. Markets kind of over the place. A lot of things going on this morning. Yo, Rob, what's up? So a lot of things going on this morning. First off, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America reported earnings. Goldman Sachs is actually ready. Bill, Billy, Mateus, Tobin, full house today. Let's get it. If you guys are gonna get paid today, comment "get paid." Goldman Sachs expected move on Goldman Sachs was $8. So it actually moved up because earlier this week the expected move was only $4. Now it's $8. So it's only dropped $3. So it would have been some decent premium. Also Bank of America is dropping as well here. Bank of America is, let me actually pull up the 1 year. Bank of America is trading, so it's right down in here. Back to support. Not too bad, but I mean, I think a lot of people expected it to break above 36, and it hasn't yet. I mean, not saying it can't, but right now, price action. If you guys remember, yesterday JP Morgan also beat, but they were trading a little bit. They spiked up yesterday, and then they faded back to break even, and then they got bought up at the open, but then faded the rest of the day. Trying to get my caffeine intake real quick. So, Goldman Sachs says tops revenue expectations, but quarterly profit hit by 1.1 billion legal bill. The bank on Wednesday posted quarterly revenue of 9.96 billion, a 23% increase that exceeded the 8.51 billion estimate by more than $1 billion. But quarterly profit was stung by the litigation charge, driving a 22% decline in earnings. So, I guess they didn't do bad, but they had to pay. They had to pay the man. But for Goldman Sachs to pay 1.1 billion, I mean, I don't think they really care about it. They'll take a hit one quarter and move on to record breaking quarters in the moving forward. JP Morgan is actually selling off a little bit here as well. Let's see here, GS is coming back down, only down $4, so we'll see. Man. Other things in the news, Target got hit as well. Target, they said same-store sales were up just 1.4% during the holidays compared with growth of 5.7% a year ago. Toy sales were flat. Sales of electronics were underwhelming. Apparel and beauty had gains. Target is maintaining its fourth quarter earnings outlook, so I guess that's good. But Target, I know a lot of people were trading it. I've been kind of just waiting and seeing what's happening because I didn't really like this move. It did look like it was starting to coil up and bring up, but I don't really like this chart setup where we gapped up and it's kind of moving lower. So I didn't really like that. And now we're at 116, so it's trading like right here. So for me, like to put a trade on Target, I'm gonna probably wait till we get to like 110. Maybe 107 area, 105 area on Target would definitely be, ideal for me. That's funny considering I could never find a Target that isn't packed like crazy. Yeah, I mean Target's insane, but maybe they spent too much money on the remodelings. I mean, I know all the Targets in my area have all gotten remodeled, changed. I mean, and it did enhance the experience there because I mean I spent a lot of time in Target because I'm married, so so Target just I don't know. That's a shame. Great earnings. Great earnings last 3 quarters. Great earnings last 3 quarters, and then to have rough holiday sales. But I think pretty much all retail, except for Amazon, had holiday sales. I think it's just gonna be hard for big retail stores. I mean, a lot of people don't like to fight the crowds anymore. You know, when I can just get the same game or shirt or whatever on Amazon, all I have to do is click. And the other disappointing thing is if you go to Target and they are out of stock of what you want, luckily you can actually look on their website ahead of time, kind of like Home Depot, find what stores have what you want in stock and actually order it. But yeah, Walmart is a mess. Walmart's in its own lane. I don't think it's like an apples to apples comparison with Walmart and Target anymore. A whole different crowd is going to each one. And also getting just so you guys know, the media is going to be hitting the trade news heavy today, obviously, but they're going to be pulling articles out of every which way because it's a high traffic day for them. You have to remember one thing about the media, like CNBC, Yahoo News, anybody. They get paid off of people visiting their website and viewing their shows and all that stuff. So they're doing it for the clicks. Yes, it's news, but a lot of it, as you guys saw yesterday, they posted some trade news that was actually old news. It wasn't really any new news. So just be mindful when putting on trades today. Like for me, I'm not putting on trades until we get that deal signed. The deal is going to be signed at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, which I'm Central, so it's 10:30 a.m., which is 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. So, Munchkin says more tariffs will be rolled back in phase 2. So they're already talking about phase 2. But here, what we talked about before, how many phases are there? Look at this right here. Just as in this deal, there were certain rollbacks in phase 2, there will be additional rollbacks. And we've said before, phase 2 may be phase 2A, phase 2B, phase 2C. This could go on for literally ever. Literally ever. So I don't think we're ever going to. I think our trade agreement with China is always going to be off for, possibly 10, 15 years, unless whether in 2020 Trump doesn't win and the next president does something different, or in 2024, since Trump's not running, obviously the next president, if they're more understandable. But we're talking 4 more years of phase 2A, 2B, 2C, phase 3A, 3B. So this is ridiculous. Rather just like anything the news makes them money. Yeah, of course. Yo, Daniel Edwards, what's going on? The question is if the deal is priced in. Yeah. Right now my 409k is looking flush. So just be aware. I don't know. I don't even know what the point of this article is, because we already kind of know that in phase 2 the tariffs are going to be rolled back. You know what I mean? I don't even know. So they're just doing it. They're doing it for the clicks, My YouTube is like jacked up right now. Sorry, guys. If you guys like the content so far, hit the like button. Okay, so let me show you what I have going on right now. Actually, Target's recovering a little bit, up $4 from its lows. But let me go into what I'm looking at right now. So what I have on right now, I have a Boeing trade. I did put on a /ES. I did buy /ES last night, about midnight or so. I was mainly trading off the off the lows here, but now we revisited that we just had a sell off. Actually S&P actually tried to push green and then just sold off. So I might actually just take that trade off. It's down like $13 right now. So I might just take that trade off, reduce some risk before going in. It's a pretty small trade though. I do have I have the 3350 call for 16 days out. So we'll see what happens. I'm trading some soybeans. Soybeans are down a couple bucks this morning. That's mostly for the trade deal. And then Boeing, I've actually wasn't anticipating holding Boeing, but we had that sell off yesterday. I probably should have exited Boeing yesterday when it pushed up here to 335, when it was kind of hanging out up here. And then I think it was on the verge of breaking out, and then we had that news yesterday of the tariff news. Which I guess it wasn't really news. You know what I mean? Saeed, what's going on? If you're here right now and you haven't said what up yet, say what up. Also, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to also be live streaming the signing. So at 11:15 a.m. Eastern time, I'm going to also live stream the trade deal signing, so we can see how the market reacts, kind of see what the plan is. Because right now, I think mostly everybody's going to be in a holding period. Yo, Lion, what's up? Also, this morning, Beyond got Bernstein downgrades Beyond Meat, calling it overvalued. Bernstein lowers rating on Beyond Meat. Well, this was yesterday. It's not even today. I don't know why they said it was published. No, I guess it was published today, but downgraded yesterday. Okay, so they're a little late here. Anyways, it got trading was briefly halted on Tuesday due to volatility. I didn't know Beyond Meat was halted on Tuesday. I think that's what kind of killed it yesterday. BYND. That's probably what killed the momentum yesterday when it got halted. Now it's at 110. Yeah, this is insane. People were. I mean, this is a heavily shorted stock, so this is definitely very squeezy. Bernstein want to slow down the pain here. Danielle, how you doing? You find what so annoying? Why does the market overreact to so hard to non-news? It's a lot of it has to do with how the algorithms are programmed. So like we're trading mostly. So if you don't understand, we're trading mostly against machines, robots, AI, artificial intelligence for banks, big hedge funds, and the robots, algorithms, they actually read the news and they carry a certain amount of weight. And right now, trade war, China news carries a lot of weight. So that's why. Michelle, how you doing? Kelly, holding on to 127, 327.50. I think you meant put into today's expiration. Nice, bold move. You're like, I'm going to zero on this thing possibly. No, robots are not the same as market makers. But the algorithms are programmed to do certain things when certain things happen, and China news, trade news, that kind of thing is. Bill says I need my own algos. Yeah, I mean the thing is, like an algo, it makes a lot of micro decisions, and depending on the goal of what they programmed it to do, I mean it could be deploying millions in seconds. It's crazy. Why doesn't everyone use them, Bill? Because of the capital requirements. I mean, mostly It's like let's say you had $100,000 account, right? You're not going to be trade. You're not going to be able to really trade with an algo successfully. And also, a lot of people, do you want to put your capital at risk for in a machine? You know, retail traders don't really. You know, it's tough. Sage, Tobin, what's going on here? I mean, it's kind of slow and low. 78 right now. You know, I would say if it could break off this weekly high, so if it could break up to 80, start to break out to 80, wouldn't mind putting some calls in here. Looks like it's been getting stopped out here like 78, 79 area. So for me, I would see like 81, 80, 81 area. Get some momentum for the long side. But I do like that it is making higher lows here, which is nice trend here. However, it's getting stopped out here. So the question is, when I see a chart like this for myself, is okay, is it going to stay in this range? If it's going to stay in this range, you pretty much just buy the dips and then sell when it hits the resistance. So you would buy the dip. Let's say it faded here back down to like 71. You know, then you would sell back up at like 78, 79 area. 77. But if it busts through, then you can start layering in some more calls, because then it has this big gap fill. This is actually a really nice chart to trade. But you don't know if it gets rejected here. You don't know how long it's going to stay in this range for. Like if you look at kind of similar to Beyond, right? We didn't know how long it was going to stay in this range for, and it was in this range for 2 months. And Sage. So that's one of the things like a lot of beginner traders do is let's go back to Beyond because it's a better example right now, because we can actually see what they start doing is when it's flat, they start layering in the calls and saying it can't be flat forever, and then it actually just bleeds out all those positions, right? They bleed you out. After they bleed you out, then they move it up. You know, so that's a good example. So that's why you want to set areas. You know, for me, like if I'm trading Sage right now, I would put in an alert. I would say, okay, because you can't watch everything. I would say, hey, if we break, let's just say 79.80, you know, I would set an alert here saying gap fill, and then I would move on about my day, see what happens, and I would look to see if I want to add calls, look how strong it is, see what the price action is, see what I want to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't really touch it down here. But you can be successful down in here. You can be successful if you buy the dips, and as you can see, nice two-sided action. But now the range is getting tighter, so the dips are getting less. So that's pretty bullish. But the question is when. Do you think Beyond is donezo? No, I mean, yeah, it's lost momentum. It'll come back down. I'm hoping it comes back down to like 100, consolidates. Baba, JDU, Baidu still good to keep in the watch list. People overreacting to the tariffs, saying it's insurance. Yeah, I mean, I think that my personal opinion on Alibaba, JD and Baidu, I'm not really a huge fans of, but Alibaba I think is extremely undervalued for the type of business they have and what their global and worldwide reach is. But for Alibaba, you know, they've been held down by the tariffs. I definitely think if there was, let's say there was no trade war with China, this would be like a $400 stock right now. But here we are. You know, in the last 4 years, you know, it's gone from 95 up to 226. I definitely could see it doubling from here. If the trade news gets resolved, I definitely think Alibaba could double. You know, they have a very strong business, a strong global growth. They're opening up warehouses and stuff in the U.S. here. In Europe, they have a huge presence. They also have a well, they're starting to have a bigger cloud imprint like AWS, like Amazon Web Services. They're also building their own data centers and their own cloud services worldwide as well. So NIO, what's Tesla doing this morning? Let's look at NIO first. I haven't traded NIO since earnings, and I can see why. I've been pretty flat, but looks good here. If it trades up, let's see if the problem with NIO is there's so many sellers that are trapped. You don't know how far it can go. There's so many. There's so many buyers that are trapped that they sell. So there's people that have an average of 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, they have a lot to prove. Tesla this morning. Tesla's actually down $9. I'd like to see a little bit of pullback. I'd like to see a little pullback on Tesla, but I haven't been trading. I'm waiting until earnings. Earnings, give me the numbers, give me the proof. Then we'll see. But there's a lot of people in the UVH fam that have been making a lot of money on Tesla, and that's fine. But for me personally, I don't like trading these type of charts, and that's why I don't really trade Apple either. That's why Apple's a lot more conservative. Netflix, on the other hand, I've been looking at this. I do like this right here. In this range here, Netflix is kind of like a buy the dip stock. Let's see what it's doing this morning. So it's flat this morning. Netflix could run up into earnings. They have earnings on January 21st, so next week. Yeah, Tesla. I think they moved their earnings. Let's see here. Tesla's earnings. They're saying it's the 21st now. No one knows when Tesla is. So some people saying it's the 22nd. Here it's saying, now it's to the 29th. Okay, that's what I thought. So it got changed. Tesla's earnings was supposed to be the 22nd. Now it's the 29th. So just keep that in mind. They need a little bit more time to, fudge the numbers and stuff, They needed an extra week. It was supposed to be Wednesday the 22nd, but now it's not next week. It's 2 weeks from now. Yeah, Kelly, I think today, I was thinking today's going to be a kind of the sell the news type of event, but anything can happen. This could being up here, this could explode. I think the risk is high in either direction because we've been running really, really hot that a little bit of pullback, but the question is, when we do get a little pullback, there's a lot of buyers. So when we get pullback, just because the market's been running hot, we have had pullbacks, but those pullbacks were met with buyers pretty much every single time. So what's going, in my opinion, what's going to force someone to sell their positions if a trade deal is reached? Was it because they were trading the run up into the phase deal? So if in my mind, if they're lowering the risk for you to be in the stock market, I would think that's a good thing. But the market does what the market does, and it could be the sell news event. But in my mind, if the market is reducing risks for you to trade and invest, being the phase 1 deal was a huge risk, it's getting completed, we're moving on. That's one less thing you need to worry about if you're planning on purchasing stocks in the near future. So reducing risk, in my opinion, is always bullish on the market, but however, the market's going to react the way the market's going to react. And that's why we're going to watch it and see what we want to do at 11:30. So I will be live starting at 11:15 Eastern time to get this trade deal going. Yeah, even yesterday, let's look at SPY yesterday. SPY yesterday, people because we're up so high. I mean, a week ago we were 323. Now we're hitting like 328, 329. Hit 328.50. It was on this. It was kind of interesting that the news came out. The news came out when we're on this really amazing run, right? Had a breakout, broke out, and then the news that tariff news came out, and it tanked it $2. Let's just say $2. However, it immediately bounced up and just remained flat the rest of the day. So it wasn't like it sold off the rest of the day. It did change it going from green to red. It did close red yesterday, but I mean it didn't really do anything. It just came back. It came back to the low of the day. If you're looking here where these candles closed, it just came back here 327 like 10, 327.13. And these are where these candles opened and closed at as well. At this double bottom here in the morning. So it wasn't like it was extremely overdone. It wasn't like, oh, it just gave up. We've seen when news came out, we've seen stocks give up a whole week's worth of gain in 10-15 minutes when it goes down. But in this case, there was no panic. I just think it was the algos. They dropped it and they were trying to figure out what to do with the news. And here we are. And right now it's trying to push up still right there again, right here, 327.10 area again, 327 area right here again. Do you plan to get a position on CAT to play trade earnings? I don't really like CAT right now. And the reason why I don't like CAT is it's just stuck right here. Trevor, what's going on? Welcome back from vacation. Rob, wasn't it because of a huge futures order? Rob, what are you talking about for the huge futures order? Why the market dropped yesterday? Sold my Bitcoin Cash. Nice. Yeah, crypto's running pretty hot right now. So I don't I don't like this setup on CAT. It's just chilling at the top here. It could go either direction or it could just stay the same, and I don't really like that type of setup. Now if Caterpillar was right here, would make it a lot more interesting for me. Probably would do like more of a strangle play because it could go up to 145 nicely or drop to 135, which gives a nice 5-point range on a strangle. It was like the fastest drop in recovery on the SPY, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was, on SPY, let's see here. What was the volume? Volume, let's see here. Volume yesterday. Yeah, volume was really low yesterday, though. Didn't even breach. It was like 65 million. So, volume was really low. I don't know. It says Putin consolidates power as Russian government resigns. Just came out. Putin consolidates power without giving much detail. The news agency said President Vladimir Putin had thanked Medvedev's government for its work. Reuters reported that the move was made so that Putin could carry out the constitutional changes he has spoken about at his annual address just hours beforehand. So it looks like Putin's getting more power. Just in time for the election. Marriott, Joe? Oh, we got a couple minutes here. Marriott. Yeah, I mean, I like that it's holding the 145s. If it dipped down to like 146, 145, I would probably try to buy the 145 calls here. 144 calls, maybe. I would like the 144 calls. If it dipped down to 145, what is it at now? 147. So if I got a little dip it open, I would add for myself to see if we can. It looks like it wants to close this 150 area. The market's about to open. I thought he already had all the power. I guess he's getting more. I don't know. I'm not too familiar how the Russian government works. All right, market just opened up. iRobot, Trevor, IRBT. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been trading that. It's been having a really rough year. It's just iRobot has been having a really rough year. You know, really needs a break. It got hard rejected here. Got hard rejected here on this candle to 54. And now it may come back down to 49. All right, market just opened up. Let's see, we got SPY's down 8 cents. Coming back up. Let's see what Boeing's gonna do. Boeing's down a little bit. Boeing's down 22 cents. What else we got? Bed Bath & Beyond is down a little bit. So far, things are kind of moving up. Let's see what Goldman Sachs is doing this morning. Goldman Sachs, yeah, the banks probably drag down the S&P if the banks can't recover. It's definitely gonna bring down that S&P a little bit. Let's see Bank of America. Bank of America, 2%, down 2%. JP Morgan, oops. JP Morgan's down $1. Not too bad. Goldman Sachs down 2%. Netflix is holding flat right now. Netflix is just chilling. Let's see here. Home Depot. Oops. Home Depot. Home Depot's a little lower. Yeah, Amazon. What's Amazon doing? Whew. Yeah, Amazon I've been watching. Couldn't break out at 1900 here. See what happens. Let's see if it comes back down in range. Now the range is kind of ugly. This chart is kind of ugly. You know, at this rate, definitely could hit 1800. I mean, not today. I mean, hopefully not today. For people, give people the chance to get out if they're long. So yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be. I think it's definitely gonna be an interesting day. Right now, I'm a little red on the day. I'm down a buck now on the /ES S&P futures. Down in the day, $6, down $46 today on Boeing so far because Boeing's dropping a little bit. Down $10 on Bed Bath & Beyond. So I'm just gonna be patient, see what happens. I'm going to be going live for the phase 1 trade deal. So join me then, 11:15 a.m. So in about two and a half hours from now. I'm gonna be so if you guys want to join me then, if you guys enjoy the content, hit the like button, join us in the Discord. I'll be in there up until then. So as always, stay safe, stay green. It's us versus herd.